The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Excellent training, fantastic benefits in retirement, and zero student loan debt. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppas. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppas. Shoppas has the right size track from the compact 1000 series all the way up to the 6000 series, with financing available. Shoppas has great prices on lawnmowers and gators, too. A John Deere is more affordable than you think. Google Shoppas at SHOPPAS. Shoppas, all things John Deere.
The following is a presentation of the Rice Sports Network. The Rice Sports Network. From Learfield IMG College. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to Rice Owls Insider, powered by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. Rice Owls Insider is brought to you by The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. Now, here's the voice of the Owls, JP Heath.
Welcome back to Rice Owls Insider, presented by IBEW Local 716. We are available on your podcast outlet of choice. The plan, at least for now, and I think it's been going quite swimmingly, if I do say so myself, is to get these in your phones late Wednesday mornings. And we're also on YouTube to see the wife's great Christmas decor in the background. What do I do with my hands here? How do I point? Can't do that. But you see, she does a great job decorating the Heath abode here. But looks like we'll be this way for a while doing these shows. We might take a little bit of a Christmas hiatus coming up in a few weeks. But as you've heard from Coach Parra and Coach Langley in the past, the plan is to keep up during basketball season and maybe venturing on into baseball season as well. But you know what? After going through what we did against UTEP, you can only take it day by day and hour by hour. But speaking of, first up this week is Dunleavy Family head football coach Mike Bloomgren. We'll talk about that disappointing non-game against UTEP and the details behind that. Then it's some off-season Rice Owls baseball talk. Never too early to get updated on the diamond, right? But Matt Braga joins me to give you the rundown of the unique prep for this upcoming season and some guys on the roster that you can acquaint yourself with. And then my friend Steve Cotton will be on. Fascinating guy, but he's the longtime voice of the Marshall Thundering Herd, and he will break down Doc Holliday's team. It is an early start coming up this weekend against 15th ranked Marshall at Edwards Stadium in Huntington, West Virginia. Going to be a chilly one. When I think Marshall now, I always think cold because it seems like we go there in the middle of basketball season and in cold football games. But 10:30 our Texas time at the Houston Methodist Hospital pregame show coming up on Saturday. You can catch that on the Game Day app, riceowls.com, and tune in as well. And that's on ESPN Plus. So if you could do us the honor of syncing us up, we would greatly appreciate it. Every show proudly brought to you by IBEW Local 716, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716, lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. We kick off the show next with Dunleavy Family head football coach Mike Bloomgren. Rice Owls Insider continues from Learfield IMG College.
Time out. Smart Financial wants you to know that a good banking experience shouldn't feel like you're getting tackled. Since 1934, we have prided ourselves on providing hassle-free services with a game plan that focuses on people, not profits. If you live, work, or go to school at or around Rice University, visit smartcu.org to join our family and become a part of the winning team. Smart Financial, proud sponsor of Rice Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
If you're sick, why wait to see a doctor when Houston Methodist can see you today? Or drive to urgent care when virtual urgent care is available on your phone? And with online check-in, anywhere can be your waiting room, so everything can happen on your schedule. Download the Houston Methodist app today and experience an easier way to access the care you need. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Welcome back to Rice Owls Insider and the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Welcome back on Rice Owls Insider. We are so grateful for you for tuning in, but also for one of our great sponsors, Smart Financial. Smart Financial's game plan is simple. People before profits, whether it's saving for retirement, finding your favorite car, or buying your dream home, we can help. Text RICE to 276-278 to find out how. Stay tuned for Owls baseball coach Matt Braga coming up in a bit to discuss his offseason, but right now, Dunleavy family head football coach Mike Bloomgren. Boss, how are you?
Doing great.
Well, rinse and repeat. I hate to be that guy. I know, like you talked about in the presser earlier today as we record this, but just walk. I guess what we didn't discuss earlier today is walk us through the timeline of what happened Saturday as you're learning things and it's kind of filtering out. But just what happened on Saturday, getting the UTEP cancellation.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild morning. So we have an 8 o'clock pregame meal, and we have a chance to eat the food. And then we go and we have our offensive and defensive meetings, our special teams walkthrough, and we're at the final part of our morning. And I'd gotten a few texts as the day went on, but we get to a point that's like, hey, guys, I need to know something. Talking to our administration and walking in to talk to the team, and they say, hey, you got to delay it. And we've got some things in play. And I said, okay. So we sent our guys back to their meeting rooms, or back to their hotel rooms, I should say, and waited a couple hours, worked through a few things, and then gave them a 30-minute warning. Come on back down. The hotel staff was unbelievable at the DoubleTree. They made us another meal. They were able to throw together spaghetti and meat sauce and chicken. So we ate another pregame meal. And then kind of about the same timing, we're about to get back together as a team and watch the highlight film and jump on the bus. And we get the call that the game has been canceled. So really tough news to deliver to the guys at that time. They're so eager to play. They're working so hard. And that's why I said what I said at the press conference. I thought it was important to address them on Monday and let them know how I feel and how I think they're feeling, and that they feel like this third cancellation was a loss. And we don't get the fulfillment of playing the game, and we didn't get the opportunity to kind of get paid for all of our hard work during the week. But I had to remind them they did nothing wrong. Everything they're doing is absolutely what we have asked of them. They're handling what we can control. They're controlling what we can control. And more than that, we were ready to play and we wanted to play. So they're not doing anything wrong. They're doing everything right and selflessly for each other.
You pretty much answered this already, but how do you and the staff manage such a unique disappointment? But at the same time, you're in the thick of Marshall week. You've still, like you've done in other weeks, you have to push this behind.
That's exactly right. And, it's disappointing and frustrating on Saturday and then maybe even into Sunday. But the bottom line is we have a great Marshall team to prepare for, and that's allowed us to really turn the page because they're a talented bunch that's playing really hard and really well together. So it's such a good challenge for us as coaches to put the best plan together for the kids and to really get them going. And I feel like they're doing a super job practicing this week. They're really studying their opponent. They're doing everything we ask them to do right now.
Yeah, on another note, I didn't written this down, but earlier hearing Jagger Bull talk and Trey Schumann talk, I mean, they echo so much the same sentiments. And while they'll maybe be future captains down the road, it seems like your message is going downstream in a good way. So how is that? Is that other leaders of the team under obviously you and the staff and the captains just passing that on, because it seems that they were in lockstep talking about that?
Yeah, I think that's very important for any organization, any good organization, is to have vertical and horizontal alignment. We have that. We have a bunch of coaches that echo that message, and then we do have a leadership council and a group of captains that are outstanding. And they do a great job disseminating the message and enforcing the standard. And so those things are so big. I think it's so hard in 2020 to reach a group of 150 people and make them hear the message the same way. Sometimes you need some people to help advance it and hammer it home. And we're so fortunate. I'm so fortunate to have those people around me right now, from our coordinators to assistant coaches right on down the line to these leaders on this team.
So you mentioned Marshall and Doc Holliday. You're going into their Wild Place coming up on Saturday. But back to last year's game, I was thinking about, I was doing another Marshall interview on their side of things earlier today that really, do you remember that loss last year is kind of propelling y'all, because that set the table, if I'm so bold to say, kind of for that streak to end last season that sent you in the offseason with that great momentum.
Yeah, there were a lot of good things that came out of that game because we knew Marshall was talented last year as well. So no surprise that, we came out and played a physical team last year. We knew what we were going to get from them going into the game. But you're right, that did maybe give us some confidence knowing we played against a very good team and had opportunities to win it, and did propel us down the road. Now we're going in with a kind of a different mindset. Like, we're going in, they are a top 15 in America, top 15 team. And gosh, we're excited about this opportunity. We don't get to play LSU or Texas this year. So this is the best team that we could possibly play in conference. And we're getting the opportunity to go into their house in December with them sitting there undefeated. It's pretty exciting.
In paraphrasing what Trey Schumann said, it seems like they've replaced a lot of their parts and only improved them. It's not like they've digressed in any area, but Wells at quarterback, Knox at running back, and you from the offensive line expertise echoed that earlier today when you were talking to us on our media call. But just speak to what Coach Holliday's working with first on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he's done such a great job assembling that team and keeping them together. And I think what Trey's point is how much improvement they made year over year. And, I think they have 130 combined starts as an offensive line. That's exceptional. And that's a bunch of guys that have played a lot of football together. And it shows. They're seeing the game through one set of eyes. They're really doing a great job moving people and understanding their schemes. There's a back behind them in Knox that sees things so well. He's a hard runner. He's quicker than you would ever think. His ability to jump cut in the hole and go find more positive yards or break out, he's proven that. They've got a tight end that's dynamic. The number 11 used to play quarterback, and now he's just a fast receiver that also can block like a tight end. So he's dynamic. And then this quarterback that, they lost the quarterback that was supposedly so important to him. And then in steps this redshirt freshman. And he's making the game look really slow and really easy. So they're a great challenge for us. We've got to do a great job playing top down. But in addition to that, we've got to be unbelievable with our technique up front. We've got to do an unbelievable job of stopping the run. I think Coach Smith has put together a great plan. So I'm excited to get out there on Saturday and put this thing into action.
Yeah, finally, speaking of defense, the number one guy that gets their headlines like Blaze on your side of the defensive ball is Beckett. And just scanning down, looking at their two deep now, redshirt senior, redshirt junior on both strings. So what stands out about the defense? Because and I mean this complimentary, it seems like a bunch of old guys they have out there.
It is a bunch of old guys. It's the guys that, once again, have played a lot of football and a lot of football together. And they're not very complicated scheme-wise, but they are so sound and they are so good technically, and they play so fast. They all look like they're playing with their hair on fire. And that's a great compliment to give a defense. So they're not going to baffle you with a lot of crazy blitzes or stuff like that or alignments. They're going to dazzle you with dance. They're going to line up toe-to-toe, and they're going to try to win their one-on-ones, which is our charge to our guys. Yes, we're playing a physical football team. Yes, we're playing a very good football team. Let's match or exceed anything they can throw at us. Let's go be the most physical team on the field Saturday, and that'll go a long way.
And finally, Coach, we got Coach Braga coming up next segment. If I remember right, a year or two ago, you talked about your old baseball days. Wasn't there a time, am I remembering this right, where baseball was your first love, or am I kind of misplacing that memory there?
No, that is absolutely the case. I grew up with a baseball in my hand, started playing t-ball when I was 4 years old, and that was the sport I loved, and really probably wasn't until high school that football probably took over, just kind of stepped up a notch in terms of its place in my heart. But I still played all three sports into high school and loved them.
Hey, thank you, Coach. Talk to you later.
All right, take care.
Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach Mike Bloomgren. More on Rice Owls Inside after this with the aforementioned Matt Braga after this here from Learfield IMG College.
The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Build a better career. To find out more, visit ibew716.net.
No one wants to fight the traffic to and from the stadium or arena. You don't have to when you go Win. Win Transportation. Enjoy the game, not fight the traffic. 5 people or 5,000. Win offers customizable group transportation with a wide range of motor coaches, minibuses, and vans, giving your trip an extra special touch. So when it's game time, remember, all you need is Win. Book at GoWin.com. GOWYNNE.com.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
You're listening to Rice Owls Insider. Let's rejoin JP Heath.
Welcome back on Rice Owls Insider, talking some baseball now with head boss man on the diamond, Matt Braga. Good day, sir. How are you?
JP, I'm doing great, man. Good to see you today.
Yes, always good to talk some shop. And you kind of gave me a quick condensed view when I literally bumped into you almost at Rice Stadium there when we were crossing paths there. But interested to get your take on fall ball and all that, and maybe just kind of maybe how some of the lineup will look. But just first off, how have y'all had to adjust things? Because from what little I saw when I went to the Roost to get tested and talked a little bit to Coach Yanish and Coach Barton just from a distance, just what was the fall ball procedure like, how you've had to adjust things on your side of things?
Yeah, there were definitely some adjustments with, COVID protocols and things of that nature, JP. We had a situation where we even got delayed a little bit, trying to make sure that everybody's safe, healthy, all that good stuff. And then when we did get started, there's still adjustments. Our guys have yet to move into their locker room. Our guys had to wear masks a majority of the fall. They were jubilant about the last week and a half when they were allowed to take the masks off. That was great news for them, and they were very excited about that. But it was a different fall compared to any that I've ever been a part of before, just because of COVID and what that's done to our situation. We had to cram 27 practices into a shorter window than we've ever had to before. But at the end of the day, JP, it was a really good fall, and our guys worked incredibly hard and did a great job sticking to the guidelines and the protocols that were thrown our way.
From what I've seen on the roster, and I remember asking you this in the spring and you didn't know because it's obvious we didn't know so much about the exemption being granted to the extra year of eligibility. But from what I've noticed, and please always give me that blanket to correct me, but I saw Como, Edwards, Knighting, Bowman, Combs, and maybe a couple others that are coming back. What will that do for your depth and really college baseball in general? You're having guys kind of bordering on their mid-20s here to give you that leadership and obviously that ability that'll help you.
Yeah, well, that it's a great thing. I mean, we're so excited to have those guys back, and it will. You mentioned what we'll do for college baseball in general. This should be, and not only at the 4-year level, but at the junior college level, this should be the best year for college baseball in the history of college baseball in terms of talent, because rosters are allowed to be bigger, and because, as you mentioned, because we played 16 games last year out of 56, so the NCAA, just like they're doing for fall sports now next year, granted all of our guys an extra year of eligibility. So a lot of our guys chose to come back. We're excited to have them back. It will make us better, and it will make college baseball as a whole better. But it's exciting, to have a guy like Como come back and others, all those guys. Those are great young men, great baseball players. I'm excited to have them back. They not only make us better this year, but those guys are great have great influence on our younger crew as well.
Do you think there were any previously open positions that were filled and maybe any that are still open coming out of the fall and that you'll obviously still determine come spring workout?
Yeah, as a coach right now, we definitely have an idea of what our lineup is going to look like. I feel pretty good about that. One thing I will say, and it goes along with the previous question, JP, is this is definitely the most depth we've had with Rice baseball since I've been here, position player wise and on the mound. And a lot of that is attributed to, getting some guys back and things of that nature. But it's going to be good. We've got 12, 13, 14 guys that are going to battle really, really hard for 9 spots from an offensive position player perspective. And there's more than that. But right now there's about 12 or 13 or 14 that have kind of separated themselves. In my mind, probably 7 spots are pretty much, boom, written in stone. Doesn't mean things can change, because they most certainly can. But and then there's a couple spots where I'm like, there's going to be some big-time battles for a couple open spots. On the mound, there were definitely some guys that separated themselves in the fall. They had really good falls, and then there's other guys that are going to have to fight to get innings.
The folks at Reckling Park coming up, when we do get going, are going to have a lot of business in the roster business, because there'll be a lot of new names. But one of those, Hal Hughes, LSU transfer. You've got Connor Walsh coming from the SEC, Ole Miss transfer. Will Karp, Division II transfer, who I know you've liked in the fall. So who are a couple of those new names you think? And again, we'll be talking again in a few months, maybe about the same question, but who are some of those new names that have kind of caught you in the coach's eyes?
Well, you mentioned them. I mean, honestly, you mentioned them. Hal Hughes started 109 games in 2 years at LSU. So that's a young man we bring in with great experience. A lot of people see Hal as a defender only. And, he did not have a high batting average in his 2 years at LSU. But I think he's going to pleasantly surprise a lot of people outside what we already know. He's an offensive threat. He knows what he's capable of, and he stays within that. So Hal's going to bring some great energy, great defense, and great offense to our program. Connor Walsh was the 27th ranked player in the country coming out of high school. I guess it would have been in the 2019 class. 2019 class. And so it's quite honestly, he's the highest rated recruit, as far as to my knowledge, that Rice has ever had that stepped foot on campus without going to Major League Baseball prior to getting here. And Connor is not disappointed. He is a hard worker, humble, and very talented young man that can really do a lot of things really well. Has the ability to put the bat on the ball with power, has the ability to really run, has a plus arm. We certainly see why he was rated so high. On top of that, he's a great team guy and going to make our program better. You mentioned Will Karp. Will Karp is Haverford transfer, a college up in the Northeast that a lot of people haven't heard of, but man, are we glad we have him. He's a young man that will impact our program this spring. Mitchell Holcomb, grad transfer pitcher from Penn, was in their weekend rotation every year that he was at Penn. And we're excited about Mitchell. He's going to be very good for us and has a chance to pitch on the weekend. So there are some great guys coming in, as well as some freshmen we're really excited about as well.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the pitching, because from the brief time we saw last year, you saw some improvements and some confidence from Deskins, and you didn't get Dalton Wood back. And I don't know what the Roel Garcia timetable could be, but what about those names that fans may know on the bump? Who are some of those guys, and is there some kind of grasp of a rotation yet? I know it's early, unfair question, but.
No, it's not. It's not an unfair question, JP. I think some guys have separated themselves. You look at it. Blake Brogdon has come back, and I think his freshman year, Blake threw like 2/3 of an inning, and then last year he was starting on Saturdays, if I remember right, and doing okay. Had ups and downs as a young man. But again, this fall continues to improve, just like he did from his freshman to sophomore year. We've seen great improvement from him continually because he's a hard worker and a great young man. So Blake is going to be a guy for us. And Brandon Deskins is another one. You mentioned him a minute ago. He threw 15 innings this fall, and you'll know this, JP. One of his biggest issues as a freshman and even last year as a sophomore was command. Like, just literally, stuff has never been a doubt. It's been good, but his command has always been a doubt. Well, this fall, pitched 15 innings and hit one young man and walked 0. And so he has made great strides. And what Coach Barton's done with him has been phenomenal. And I look to see him have a great impact come springtime. Alex De Leon is back. He was our Friday night guy last year, so we'll see what happens with him. You mentioned Roel Garcia. Roel only threw a little bit this fall, so we are keeping our fingers crossed and praying that Roel will be back because we know what a talent he is. But yet, at the same time, he's only thrown 2 innings in my tenure here. So we want him back, and I believe with all my heart Roel will be on the mound for us this spring, and he is Friday night type stuff.
And finally, again, Coach, I'm asking a question I know the unanswerable right now, but with the flux, and I've seen what other conferences are doing with their scheduling. I don't know, while we haven't announced a schedule yet, it's because we can't. We don't know what this virus will do, and hopefully it will, like you said, prayers, hopefully it will go away sometime soon. But do you have any grasp of what Conference USA could do, at least, for a scheduling, or what a college baseball model could be about how we get these games in? Because baseball seems like a sport. The big leaguers proved it. We can get this done around the virus. But what do you think for scheduling?
Yeah, obviously as a college baseball coach, my hope right now is that everything goes as planned, that we just play a normal schedule and we play our midweek games, we play our weekend games, and everything is a go. We also understand that may not be the case, and we might have to, make some adjustments. And if we have to do that, we'll do them to the best of our ability. With that being said, Conference USA right now, instead of a normal 10 conference weekends, 3-game series for 30 conference games, Conference USA has changed just to 8 conference weekends, 3-game series for 24 games. At the moment, I've heard nothing different. Is that possible that it could change? Sure, it is. It could become more, it could become less. But right now, that's where we're at with Conference USA. I'm sure we'll be meeting again in the next month to hopefully solidify some of those plans. But we'll see. The word that's been used so much is things are fluid right now, and we'll hang in there with whatever happens.
Hey, it's almost guaranteed 2021 is going to be better than 2020, Lord willing. But Coach Braga, always great to talk. I'm sure we'll talk a lot. I think this is kind of our idea for the Coaches Show format. Instead of being in person, it's work for football and coming up basketball. But always great to see you and talk to you, my friend. You too, JP, man. You do a great job. Sure appreciate you. Thank you so much. Rice Owls baseball boss Matt Braga. Stay tuned, more on Rice Owls Insider right after this.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppas. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppas. Shoppas has the right size track from the compact 1000 series all the way up to the 6000 series with financing available. Shoppas has great prices on lawnmowers and gators too. A John Deere is more affordable than you think. Google Shoppas at SHOPPAS. Shoppas, all things John Deere.
Rice fans, need a place to stay while watching your Owls play ball? Located just steps from campus is the Hilton Houston Medical Center. Visit us today at houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount. Again, that's houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount now.
Have no post-game plans? You do now. Head down the street to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village and relax over indoor and outdoor games, sports, and drink specials that a college student cannot refuse. All you have to do is bring your student ID to enjoy $2.50 domestic drafts. Also, don't miss out on our Monday college nights, as we've got $2 domestic drafts and $3 shots. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on all our upcoming events and specials. Little Woodrow's, the official Rice Owls game day headquarters.
Welcome back to Rice Owls Insider. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Welcome back on Rice Owls Insider. Down, said, head on over to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village. Little Woodrow's is definitely the place to be. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated with all of their upcoming events. Little Woodrow's, your local Texas bar and grill. Well, longtime respected voice of the Marshall Thundering Herd is the great Steve Cotton, and he will be, I think, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, still one booth down and still lots of popcorn. I remember that our last trip there on a cold day, you still got that big popcorn booth either in or outside, somewhere near the booth, right?
Well, the 2020 campaign has taken a lot of things away, and I'm afraid to let you know that popcorn is included in what has been taken away.
Yeah, that does make sense, I guess, for a foodie like me. But there will be better days and all this. Well, we have a lot in common these days. No game for you all since November 14th against Middle Tennessee. But is it as an antsy a feeling up there as I guess it is down here?
It is Marshall's second sequence of games with 3 weeks between them. So the Herd went through that once early in the year and responded pretty well. I guess you feel better having gone through it once before, but who knows? Everything's kind of crazy this year. But the one thing that I think has helped the Marshall coaching staff is that no matter what happens, this team seems to roll with it. And JP, when I go watch practice, you can't tell if they've got a game Saturday or if they know they don't have a game for a couple of weeks. They really seem to enjoy being out there on the field. You've got a couple guys on offense, a couple guys on defense, just as you would hope, who kind of lead the way. They're a bit edgy. They're always chattering. They're making sure that everything is lively. And that has gone a long way toward Marshall playing pretty consistent football at this point, despite the stop-and-go kind of way you go about 2020.
I guess by the nature of things, we look at offense first. And I've read about Grant Wells throughout the year. And heck, I thought at first, and you and I were texting back a couple months ago, hey, are we going to have this game? But then we didn't play our first 6 games of the year, which included you guys, which most know is why we're playing here in December now. But looking at Wells, I mean, my gosh, Manning Award National Quarterback of the Week, Maxwell O'Brien watch list now, just redshirt freshman almost seems fair, Steve, but just what's led to his kind of immediate maturity? It didn't seem like it took long for him to be great.
Well, I don't mean to belittle anything he's done, but Grant had pretty much a perfect situation to go into as an unproven quarterback, a freshman who has a veteran offensive line. Marshall returned as many starts as anybody in the country on its offensive line this year. And you have a running back in Brendan Knox, who was the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year. So those are the makings of a pretty good security blanket for a young quarterback to come in. And then Grant's simply been very good. We did not know what to expect on offense only at the quarterback position. Marshall returned so much of what it had done last year on offense and thought it was returning a 2-year starting quarterback in Isaiah Green. But Green tossed his name into the transfer portal in the summer. It was late, and all of a sudden there was a giant unknown on offense. And Grant, in the very first game against Eastern Kentucky, set all sorts of Marshall records for a quarterback making his first start, and he's kind of just carried on from that point forward. Last time out, 5 touchdowns against Middle Tennessee.
So you made one reference there to Knox, and obviously having a lot of talent around Wells makes him look better. Like you said, not short-sighting him, but my gosh, Knox, still the same kind of runner as we saw last year. He put up $130 on us. What type of guy is he that Coach Holliday has so much confidence? Because it seems like it's the same old Knox as I read the black and white of the wrap-ups.
He is constant as anybody I've ever been around, and he's one of the guys I talked about at practice. Every day works hard, sets the tone, and is not a vocal leader, but has everyone's respect. And JP, it's kind of crazy to say, but I really at times struggle to appreciate what he does week in and week out. You look down at the end of the game, and if it's 110 yards and a touchdown from Knox, you say, he was a little bit off today. And it's crazy that we actually think that way because of the kind of things he does. And it's not only the yards and the touch, picking up the blitzes. He's one of the best I've ever seen as a running back at doing that. So he shows up and makes everybody – and he's a calm guy, a quiet guy, and I think he's a real calming influence. Not that Grant Wells is a touchy guy and prone to just doing kind of crazy things, but that is a real calming presence for a freshman quarterback among the others in this year.
So on your defensive side of the ball, my goodness, the big stats, I see with Beckett, obviously. I've seen some comparisons with Aldridge on our side, our defense. They're up there as far as tackles per game, but number 1 or number 2 scoring defense in Conference USA, number 1, number 2 defense. I might have flip those, but what works well on the defensive side of the ball? Because it seems like a lot of things are.
And that is what was unknown this year. Of all the things we thought we knew on offense, the defense had graduated guys at pretty much every level. There were several newcomers, some junior college guys that were going to have to perform things that year in and year out, when it happens, you say that's a little bit hit and miss. Marshall hit on all of those guys. They've been very good. Beckett, you mentioned, leads the way, a linebacker who's always around the football. But I think probably the thing that has made Marshall so good is that he's not the only guy around the football. This defense is fast, and they swarm, and if there's a tackle to be made, for the most part, they make it. There have been very few missed tackles, and even if you slip away for a moment from the first guy there are usually 3 or 4 others bearing down on you.
And finally, it seems like the big stats that jump out at me for as the coaching staff and Doc Holliday's obviously done a great job, but y'all's firm grasp on Texas teams in Huntington and that Florida recruiting pipeline. I know that we've talked about in years past, but it's kind of a two-sided question. But what makes the staff so great kind of in that game against Lone Star State teams, and then kind of what makes them great? But it seems like they really recruit nationally too.
They do recruit very well. Coach Holliday built his reputation through decades as an assistant coach on a guy who was one of the best recruiters. Some people call him the best recruiter at times in all of college football. And his personal hunting ground was South Florida. So that has continued with him as a head coach, even if he is not necessarily the one going down there and running around the Sunshine State and personally bringing the guys back. But that has continued. And, you know, there aren't a whole lot of residents in West Virginia in general. So you have to go outside the borders. Now he wants to get the guys from in the state who can do the job, and Grant Wells is one of those. And it's not from West Virginia, but Brendan Knox is from Columbus, Ohio, less than 3 hours away. So they draw that circle like everybody else, but Marshall Circle, Division I prospects is a lot of folks. So that's why they are looking pretty much far and wide. They have some junior college players from Navarro there in Texas that they've hit on this year, and some California junior college guys. And Marshall doesn't really go heavy into junior college players, but it seems like everyone they've gone to get the last few years has been a home run.
Well, Steve, I saw snow is in the forecast in your neck of the woods for this week, right as when we're recording this. But just, I don't mind a little snow on the ground, but just keep it out of our booth if you have any control over that. Thank you, sir.
It looks as though Saturday they're talking about mid-40s, and I don't see much talk of precipitation for Saturday. So I think you're good there, JP.
Yeah, better than 17 degrees last time I think we were there. Was that 14 or 15, 16?
It was chilly, yeah.
Hey,
not quite that bad.
I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
All right, JP, have a good one.
That's the great Steve Cotton. He'll be on the call on the big Marshall Thundering Herd Radio Network coming up this weekend. Sans popcorn, though. Okay, but there will be better years. Stay tuned with us. I'll wrap up Rice House Insider right after this.
The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
Time out. Smart Financial wants you to know that a good banking experience shouldn't feel like you're getting tackled. Since 1934, we have prided ourselves on providing hassle-free services with a game plan that focuses on people, not profits. If you live, work, or go to school at or around Rice University, visit smartcu.org to join our family and become a part of the winning team. Smart Financial, proud sponsor of Rice Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
The Windham Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the Windham Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or need 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Big thanks to Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach Mike Bloomgren, Baseball Coach Matt Braga, and my buddy Steve Cotton for joining me on this edition of Rice Owls Insider. It's an early start this week at 15th ranked Marshall and Edwards Stadium. Going to be a chilly one. 10:30 Houston Methodist Hospital pregame coming up. The Game Day app, riceowls.com, and tune in as well. ESPN Plus has that webcast if you'd like to sync us up. Pretty easy to do. Rice Owls Sports Show, the all-new Rice Athletics TV feature show presented by Smart Financial, is bringing viewers a unique perspective on the individuals who compete for the Owls in all 14 sports, as well as some of the great moments from Rice's rich sports history. AT&T Sportsnet Southwest, the home of the Astros and Rockets, with a coverage region throughout Texas, as well as Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Make sure you check your local listings for the Rice Owls Sports Show. Have a great day or night. God bless. Go Owls. Always be kind. Punch us up on the broadcast Saturday morning from chilly Huntington. We'll talk to you next time here on Rice Owls Insider from Learfield IMG College.
On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, you've been listening to Rice Owls Insider, powered by IBEW Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. Rice Owls Insider was brought to you by The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the Rice Sports Network.